Hi you guys, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and time for another rodeo layout. This is one of the page kits that I put together for the upcoming, or for my 2010 album. And this is a trail ride. So these are some of the pictures, chuck wagons and the whole bit. If you haven't seen where I put together the page kits, I'll explain the photos in a minute. But let's take a look at all the papers. I have a lot of papers pulled for this. So I have a brown piece of cardstock, a piece of vellum, and the vellum actually has little clouds on it, which is neat. It was a cloudy, rainy day. I pulled a little bit of ephemera, but we'll deal with that in a little while. I have a wood grain, and then all the rest of this is from one paper pack or paper pad or something that I got. I don't know the manufacturer, but I like all the pieces together. And this will be a 2-page layout because I have 5 photos, and I don't think I can cram that, and they're pretty big. 5 photos on to put on there. So this is her preschool class watching the rodeo at her child care center, the trail ride, and it goes right by that road. So they all went out to watch the trail riders come in. So I think these 2 pictures and the title will go on the left, and then the other pictures of the trail ride can go on the right. And since there are 3, I think I probably will just stack them. Keep it relatively simple. So I just need to figure out base pages and how I want to incorporate the wood grain. I think it might be cute to, in whichever direction, have, if I put these 3 photos on the wood grain, then I won't have to, I can trim them up just a little. Like I can trim the bottom of this one, the bottom of this one, and I can trim the bottom of all 3 so that there's a little space in between them on the page. But then I don't have to map them in white or brown or anything. So I think wood grain over here, and then maybe a small strip of the wood grain over on the other side to tie it together. So I like that. And then I do have 2 of these, which if I tone them down and make use of the other stuff, then I think that will be okay for the base pages. And then these are one-sided papers. I don't know if I need to use this one. I could potentially fussy cut this out to add to it. I may even fussy cut this and layer on top. Then I can use this for I was also thinking about using this for doing the photos, like doing it in, I don't love that together. So I have to figure out how I want to use the stripes. And maybe the stripes make sense for matting these photos. Yeah, I like the stripes better actually, but I'll want them horizontal, I guess, to match the rest of it. So maybe if I do the stripe and then the brown, that'll make more sense. If this doesn't get used, that's not the end of the world, because I'm not loving it. All right, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start with that and see where we land. And I still have enough to recover if I need to. I will ink everything. I don't know that I need to matte these papers, but I will probably pretty heavily ink everything. So I will do that and come back to you. Okay, so checking in. I'm going to use my Creative Memories border punch in a minute. So everything's inked. I laid out the photos on a panel here, and then I did another strip of that wood grain over here. I had a couple of options for a title. I looked at some plain brown letters. I thought about creating it on my Cricut, and then I found these letters that are very old Creative Memories. I don't even know which series is, which designer pack it's from, but I think they sort of fit the mood of that Western look. So I'll probably alternate them a little so they're a little more condensed on here when I go to stick them down. And because they're different heights, I think a little skewing is good. I need some sort of a tag over here for journaling about what it is. I also, I pulled out this punch, which makes a film strip. And so I think I have a strip of this brown left, so I might make a little film strip to add in here as well. I have 2 strips of that actually. So I may do something with that. I think I'll go ahead and do it and then see if it works on there. But I need to see if I can make this work without losing too much of the paper. I probably should have just done it on the paper before I cut it, but that's okay. I can make it work. Yeah, so we're gonna make this look like it's torn out of a sheet of paper, since this was a school kind of thing. And then I'll ink it. And that will just give me some plain paper to write on. And I'll probably tuck it. I might tuck it up here so it's closer. Oh, I was going to move this down. So I used, this is the thing that my dimensional ephemera that my friend bought me and just gave me this past week. So I'm gonna use these things to tie all this in together, I think. So that'll be closer there. And maybe this needs to be on another piece of paper so it shows up a little better. Maybe I'll make a second one with this striped paper. That's what I want to do. But I think Yeah, I want the brown to show. So if you haven't used these before, it's pretty neat. You don't have to visually line it up. You can line it up by feel, which is pretty cool. So you do that to line it up, get it where you need it, and then it just tucks in. So I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. Let's see. And I'm gonna do it like they're stacked papers. Then it's gonna show up even better. I think this one. Daisy May, what are you chewing on over there? I like that. That shows up better, doesn't it? All right, let's just roughly adhere those together. And that will tuck under there. That's my journaling spot. I'm not going to make you torture you with putting that down. But I think, so I have this neat saying on here, do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. So I think that is really appropriate. So I'm going to put that under the photo. The photo is going to overlap that way a little bit. I haven't adhered this stuff down. And then I have these other stickers from that Giddy Up Girly thing. And then these stickers are from something else, Creative Memories. So I've got 3 or 4 different companies' products on here, but I'm okay with that. All right, so I'm gonna stick all this down and then I'll be back. Okay guys, time for some finishing touches. So a couple of notes. I cut these. I think you saw me cut one of them, but I decided it needed maybe the striped paper under it just to add a little contrast where it touched the other blue paper because they were too close to each other. I've got to pull these stirrups out. And then I'm like, well, I have 2 layers and I forgot I had not used the vellum at all. So I went ahead and did a 3rd one out of the vellum. So, so a little stack of 3 papers there, which I kind of like, and I will do the journaling on that. I got the letters to fit. I didn't have to alternate heights too much, but like this one was able to tuck into the T a little bit. So I'm happy with that. I don't have huge clusters. You know, if you watch my channel, I'm not very good at the clusters, but I do have sort of a beginning and end for that, and then an arrow that leads you over to the next page, and then here. So there are 5 areas of interest that sort of walk you through the pages. And I have some things for finishing touches. There's one on here, little silver horseshoe, and there, so I have 4 more. So I'm gonna sprinkle those around. I'm not gonna use the gun this time, but I'm gonna make sure each little cluster area has one. And then down here, and then, so I'm gonna toss the gun. I don't need the gun. And then I have these Nuvo drops. Let me see what color they are. These are crystal drops, dirty bronze, and I think that's a good color. It's not gonna clash with the silver, so I'm gonna add that. And then this page is kind of done. So let me just add some of those around in my little clusters. And this will add a little dimension. And I'm using these instead of enamel dots. The only other thing I probably need to do is do something with that little hole. I'll do some sort of brad there, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and do, no, I'm not. All right, and we'll just do 3 little ones over here too, also. All right, so this page is done, and I think it looks very Western, even though I didn't use Western paper, but I did use Western ephemera. Thanks for watching, you guys. The next video that I post will be a card made from these scraps.